Well, welcome back to Gateshead for the Aviva English Schools Track and Field Athletics Championships. Intense competition guaranteed over the next 3 hours. England's finest young athletes compete to be crowned English Schools champion. Now, next on the track is the junior girls 100 metres. The athletes just behind me are completing their preparations, so we better head back up to the commentary box for our next event.
Thanks, John. The title of the country's fastest 14-year-old is up for grabs in this final. It lasts less than 13 seconds, so not that long in which to determine their fate. Dorica Santos of London is in lane 1. 12.77, her lifetime best. She ran that in the heat. In lane 2, Katie Johnson of Cumbria. Cumbria Schools champion, 12.58, her best time. Big improver, though, this season. Shannon Hilton of Kent is in lane 3. 12.55, her best ever time. She's the Kent Schools champion. Amelia Benjamin, one of the real favourites here, the Birchfield Harrier, wearing the colours of West Midlands. 12.37, her fastest ever time, run in the heats here. She is the second fastest qualifier for the final. But here is the fastest of the qualifiers, Cadadria Miller of Hertfordshire. And Hertfordshire has produced one or two outstanding young sprinters in recent times. Jodie Williams, of course, the UK record holder. Simone Ager of Northants is in lane 6. She's the Northants Schools champion. She'll have another year in the age group after this, so this will be good for experience for her. Lois Wacknall of Oxford, the Radley lady, is in lane 7, 12.48. She ran in her heat, that's her best ever time. And Christy Edwards of South Yorkshire, a member of the City of Sheffield Athletics Club, is in lane 8, run on the outside, the South Yorkshire Schools champion. Well, Jodie Williams, the UK record holder. She's not the championship record holder. That belongs to Ashley Nelson, who was running for Staffs when she ran 11.58 in Birmingham 6 years ago. And Ashley Nelson herself went on to have an accomplished international career through the age groups. But Cadadria Miller in lane 5, wearing the colours of Hertfordshire, the favourite here. So Miller, 4 from the left, and she's broken well away, and she's got half a metre on Benjamin, but also having a decent run there is Hilton. And look now at Benjamin coming back at them as Miller goes backwards. And there in lane 4, it is Amelia Benjamin of West Midlands, the second fastest qualifier, has caused something of an upset. And I must say, wearing 37 there, Cadadria Miller, well, she was the fastest of the qualifiers coming into the final. And in the end, I'm afraid, when the chips were down, she proved rather disappointing. But the Birchfield Harrier, Amelia Benjamin, is the fastest 14-year-old in the land. And in the end, well, she's got there just in front of Lois Wacknall, wearing the colours of Oxford. Good run from Wacknall. She, I'm sure, will have run a lifetime best here.
Well, certainly, and it looked like Shannon Hilton who got the third place. But right at the very start, Shannon Hilton got a terrific start. She really did. Then she was run down by Amelia Benjamin in the centre, as you can see now. But look at the top of the picture. Out in lane 7, Lois Wacknall coming through into what I think is second place. Now, that is confirmed now on our computer. But the time, 12.44. We'll update on the full result shortly. But that's a real look of determination, isn't it? Absolute power. Sheer power from the youngster. Junior girl, gold medalist over 100 metres. Yes, I've done it, she says. I've done it. I'm the champion. Relax now. Having a little look at the start. Well, there is Cadadria Miller of Hertfordshire, belongs to the Harrow Club. Fastest qualifier, as Martin said. But here, look at this, rocking and rolling a little bit as she came under pressure. Really tensed up, and the rest came past her. I think she was in 4th place in the end. But we'll confirm that in a moment. Yes, she was. That's just come up on our computer. But we'll give you that full result in a moment. But that was a very fine run indeed by Amelia Benjamin. Second fastest qualifier is the champion.
Amelia, that was such a wonderful performance. How does it feel?
Amazing. I didn't think I'd get this far. I didn't think this far ahead. But that was absolutely amazing.
And how have you found this championship environment?
It's very fun. Like, my team over there, West Midlands, they're very supportive. And you can probably hear the arguing everywhere. Very supportive team. I love it.
And the fact that you've won a gold, what does that mean for your career, do you think?
I don't know. I'm just surprised I won, really. The season I had this earlier on in the season, I'm just surprised I got this far, really.
Well, it's real, it's happened, you're the champion. Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, what a modest young lady. Amelia Benjamin, her winning time, 12.44 seconds, coming through very powerfully in the second half of the race. We've got that result now. And 4/100ths of a second separating Benjamin from Lois Wacknell, who came through powerfully in the last 30. I reckon she might develop into an outstanding 200-metre runner, the Oxford athlete. That race run into a slight headwind, so the wind really is swirling out there at the Gateshead International Stadium. Shannon Hilton of Kent came through for third, and the fastest of the qualifiers, Miller of Hertfordshire, well, she would run out of it altogether.
Well, the result of the 300 metres final, there it is. Rachel Dickens of Surrey, 38.52. Sabrina Bakari of Bedfordshire, 39.22. And Grace Isles of West Yorkshire, 39.22, takes third place. Well, the next event on the track is the intermediate boys 1500 metres. A big field. We've got 12. 3 of the athletes under or sub 4 minutes. There's number 29, that's William Paulson, 3:59.61. Also number 27 out on there, he'll be in the 8th lane, Thomas Richardson, 3:55.71. And there's one of the fellas that should feature here, and number 27, Tom Richardson, 3:55.71. He's ranked 4th in Britain at the moment. And James Lambswood will catch up with him, the fastest in the field, at 3:52.90. He's ranked 2nd in the UK Championships overall. Number 73 there is Dave Sheldon of Staffs, 31, just identifying some of the athletes. Ryan Moore of Greater Manchester, Sale Harrier, just on the outside. He's won the Greater Manchester Schools, got a best of 4:03.50. Very, very easy. It's going to be a tactical finish, and the sprinters are going to prevail here. It's very, very steady, and I don't think we're going to see any records here. Look at this, they're almost ambling. No one's prepared to take this on. No,
we're not going to see any records. The national record, by the way, at this event, Steve Cram, local favourite, Jarrow and Hebburn, ran 3:47.7 in 1977. I can also remember him going on to win the senior title a year later on a track with 3 bends when these championships were held on the cinders at Chesterfield. We're not going to see any records here, but look at that field, it's well bunched. We're going to see a mad sprint in the last 600 metres.
Yeah, it's down to the sprinters. It's going to be down to an 800-metre race in the end, and I reckon that only those with a bit of sprint power are going to prevail here. Tom Hook of Norfolk is right at the front there at the moment, and it really is pedestrian, very, very pedestrian indeed. And Callum Jones of Cornwall also up in that leading group. He's a 4:08 man, so you've got 4:08 and 4:09 men in there with the sub 4 minute men. So at the end of the day, really the 3 principals have got to get stuck into this, and I hope at the end that it will be a true run race. It's certainly tactical.
Well, one of the greater days in British athletics over the course of the last 30 years was when Britain won the Europa Cup here. That was a great event full of many of the great names in British athletics, and it was races like this in the 1500 metres which tend to characterise team championships like that. But there is no pace on this race at all. We're starting to see 1 or 2 elbows. They're running 3 and 4 wide. They're jockeying for position, but somebody here will know deep down that they are perhaps the fastest man in a sprint finish, and somebody in there will be looking forward to this and saying, hang on, they're playing right into my hands.
Well, certainly Tom Richardson, one of the sub 4 men up in that leading group there, and I'm just looking for Lambswood, who's wearing 39. Oh, there he is on the left. There he is on the left. He's the fastest qualifier of 3:52.90. So, and he's now moving into the lead now, and beginning to just wind up the pace subtly. It's now beginning to wind up quite well, isn't it? Behind him, wearing the number 73, Dave Sheldon of Staffs. But now, look how it's beginning to spread out. It's not as significant as perhaps one would expect at this stage. But look at this, now he's starting to go. He's starting now to put the pedal down. And Lambswood, the Northern Under-17 champion indoors, incidentally, was 2nd last year. Well, certainly now we've got William Paulson, who is the other sub-4 minute man, has taken the lead now. So the race is definitely on, and the sprint finishers are going to prevail here, that's for sure. Dave Sheldon in third place at the moment. So leading the race, William Paulson. Paulson, a little bit of pressure put on there on Lambswood. We'll see what he's got with just 200 metres to go, and it's going to be very, very good. And in third place now, Michael Bleasby of Durham has come through. He's got a best of 4:02, so he was likely to be there, but the real battle now is on down the home straight, and a couple of the principals are running very, very strongly indeed. And this is going to be a very tough finish indeed. And I just wonder, well, Will Paulson has got enough, I think. I don't think he's going to be caught. He's not. Paulson's going to take this. He's going to take it really well too. And Lambswood in second place. In third place was Bleasby. And the time 4:02.95. Well, after that first pedestrian, couple of 600 metres or so, probably a little further than that. It was a pretty good time in the end.
You win. Yes, and that is a compliment to the two men who took off, ran about 550 metres out. It's very tough to do that. You do have to be that much better than the rest, because you become the hare to chase. And they kicked on and they took themselves away from the field, and it's James Lambswood there, you can see he made that break, but just waiting for it was William Paulson, and Paulson came past him before the bell, and he had the strength on what is a pretty blustery lap here of the Gateshead Stadium. Just missing the break a bit there was Bleasby of Durham. For a moment he looked like he might possibly catch them, but these two men had enough in the tank. And there you can see Paulson kicking on, Lambswood behind him. The two men who really did all the work in the last 550 metres or so, and he is the champion. So a good run there, and then wearing the colours of Gloucester.
Well, I just wonder what he's going to say about that. It was a very slow start to the race. It proved to be a real bonus for those that could really fast finish, and William Paulson was one of those. He's with Mark Richardson.
Well, William, that seemed to be a real tactical masterclass. Talk us through the race.
Well, basically I just tried to stay as near to the front as possible, and then I basically stuck to my race plan, which was to just take it out from 400, and in the end it worked out, so I'm pretty pleased.
Yeah, it worked out beautifully. So it kind of felt like the field was almost playing to your strengths, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe that's what I tried to do. Kind of, maybe I didn't want to take it on any earlier, so as to keep it kind of slow, and then give it a fast finish, which is more to my strengths, I think so. Yeah.
And how satisfied are you? So you've executed the plan, you've done it to perfection, and you've emerged the champion.
Oh God, I'm so pleased. I mean, it's my third year, I think, now, and I've been waiting for ages for this, so I'm really, really happy.
Well, a real testament to perseverance and determination. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done, young man, well done. And times don't matter, positions do. When he goes back to his school, he will be an All England Schools champion at last. Much credit to his effort and his endeavour.
Well, we've already seen a championship record in the heats of the Interboys 200 metres, so I think it would be reasonable to expect some more fireworks in this, the final. Tunde Adelakan, the Harrow athlete, wearing the colours of Middlesex here, 22.20, lifetime best in that semi-final. And the athletes here using the blocks. In the younger age groups, they weren't allowed to use blocks throughout the qualifying heat, so using the blocks for the first time here in the final. Clifford Newby, also Middlesex, so Middlesex with a couple of finalists here. He's in lane 2, coached by Julian Golding, Commonwealth Games champion in years gone by, also a former 3A's champion, so Golding will have offered the advice there to Clifford Newby. Newby a 22.18 man. Jack Crosby, Middlesbrough AC, not terribly far down the road, wearing the colours of Cleveland here. The Cleveland Schools champion, 21.90 is lifetime best. Set in the semi-final. He's in lane 3. And they're wearing 31 is Roy Ejiakweku. 21.18 in the semi-final. He's the Northern champion, also the Greater Manchester champion. The previous record, by the way, was set by Dean Daniel of Cleveland, but that blown away in qualifying. Matthew Hudson-Smith, the Birchfield Harrier, 21.82. He ran in making his way through to this final. So all these athletes come here knowing that they're in the form of their lives, and for many of them having already run their fastest times ever here in Gateshead this weekend. Mikhail Tapper, the white vest of Merseyside, the Liverpool Harrier, second in the junior final last year, so he's 1 year young. He's got another year in this age group. 32, Callum Ruckneen of Greater Manchester, the Sale Harrier, 22 dead in qualifying for this final. That too a lifetime best. And in lane 8, Jermaine Hamilton, representing Essex, 22.12 in the heat here. Another athlete coached by Julian Golding. So the top two in the UKA rankings going head to head here. Ejiakweku and Hudson-Smith in lanes 4 and 5. They're wearing the bright red colours. That is Matthew Hudson-Smith, the Birchfield Harrier, 21.82, but that a good deal slower than Ejiakweku. We've already seen one young star in the Interboys 400. Could we see another crown here in the 200 metres? And Hudson-Smith got away pretty well there, but now Ejiakweku has started to get into his running and he's gone onto his shoulder. Newby's having a decent run, but Ejiakweku comes into the straight. Now can he hold on to it? Hudson-Smith starting to come back at him a little bit, but it's Ejiakweku from Hudson-Smith. They will be the 1 and 2. Look at the time, 21.72. So it's a little bit slower in this final, 21.18 in the heat. So clearly the wind has turned round a little bit as this weekend has progressed. But Roy Ejiakweku, the Sale Harrier, wearing the colours of Greater Manchester, is the intermediate boys 200 metres champion. And I must say that part of the world has got some decent sprinters on the evidence of what we've seen today.
Yes, indeed. The Birchfield Harriers Club, as a vice president of that club, it really has got, it's a grounding for many, many top sprinters. But that was a super bend by Hudson-Smith and also Ejiakweku. And Ejiakweku had good staying power, but he was clean closed down in the end, wasn't he? But that was a good run. Ejiakweku and Hudson-Smith, the two dominating. I think Jack Crosby was in third place from Cleveland. Good run, very, very competent run indeed. Have another little look as they come round the bend. Look at the beautiful transition. It's a marvellous transition. The transition means that movement off the bend into the straight with total control. No loss of speed whatsoever. It was a lovely lean in. He used the lane well. He came away. He's got relaxed shoulders. Head just tensed up a little bit. But that's very, very good indeed by just about a metre or so. 21.71 to 21.76. Less than a metre, of course. It was closer than that. But that was a very, very good run indeed. Well, certainly this fella will be another sprinter to look forward to. We do need to see more developing now as we go through. So the Gateshead Stadium has seen some fine performances thus far. But I tell you what, when you come back from the break, you've got an intermediate girls 1500 metres race, and you've got a very fine athlete in Jessica Judd to look forward to.